All right, Gemini, welcome to your 2018 Sidereal Astrology forecast. So this video is for Sidereal. If you are new to the channel, check out the link down below. Or if you don't know what Sidereal is, because we are using the actual size of the constellations. And so this does change the signs from mainstream astrology. And so you do want to make sure you're watching this video for your sidereal sign. I do recommend watching this for your sun, moon, and ascendant. So there's a chart calculator down below so you can find out what those three are, so you can get a more holistic picture since this is a very general reading. But anyways, this year, Gemini 2018, you do have a lot of emphasis on your fifth house, which is where Jupiter is going to be expanding. So maybe potentials with creativity, romance, kids, anything that you're essentially passionate about or create in life could be certainly the emphasis for you this year. And Saturn's in your seventh, so emphasizing relationships. A lot of you may be taking a more serious, grounded approach to relationships since December of last year, so just coming into this year, where over the next 2 years, you're going to be, I think, building relationships for the long term, just bringing some balance to this area. And I think only wanting to build relationships that are truly meaningful and stable and grounded in your life, which can make it a fantastic year for that. So that's the general energy. Of course, there's a lot more going on. So let's look at this here in more detail when we return. All right, so here is the chart for 2018 for your sign. There's Jupiter in the fifth house. Again, the house of essentially connecting to the things you're passionate about in life and bringing in a bit of fun or creative self-expression. Lots of opportunities for that. And that's very much linking up with your relationship sector this year, actually. So where you can work hard and be patient with, I think, is relationships. I think over the next couple of years, there will be more stability here. There is some long-term energy. Some of you, will notice that, all relationships in your life, if they're not long-term, if they're not stable, then they're kind of left in the dust. This is the kind of year where you're only wanting to build long-lasting relationships. And so these are the ones that will be entering your life. Or your existing relationships that are more committed and grounded will be staying as well. So really good to challenge yourself with that. But those are the two key areas. This is, of course, for a general reading. So if you do want a more specific look, do check out the link down below and after this video for a 20% discount on the personal readings. This is, of course, very general. So for a specific look at your chart, there is a 20% discount for that at the end and down below. So let's have a little bit of a closer look here, month by month, looking at January. January 16th, we do have Jupiter sextiling up to Pluto in the seventh. So again, this link here between self-expression and relationships, or fun and relationships. And so what's in the context of this is that really over the past 10 years, a lot of you have been transforming through relationships and breaking some patterns, maybe some unhealthy patterns in your relationship sector, and practicing more non-attachment in your relationships. So all of this can actually come across as very easy this year. Right off the bat, starting January 16th, this goes exact. So it's just an opening for that, to break some patterns. It can be easy to do that. It's also very powerful for you to be expressing yourself this year. You can feel a bit of an empowerment with that. And again, any creative projects or things you create or things you're passionate about can be very empowering to develop and maybe make some changes with or put some energy into that. Because again, that is what is expanding for you. So that's the two areas: self-expression into relationships, and then even relationships and enjoyment into the creative life force energy, and just getting out there, having some fun, expanding your horizons with those types of things that you enjoy. So that's the link there, January 16th. And then also on that day, we do have a new moon in the seventh for you. So there could be literal new beginnings for you involving relationships mid-month, kicking off the year, starting something new there with that. It could be new relationships for some of you, but also a new beginning to existing relationships as well. So at the end of January, on January 31st, we do have a lunar eclipse, and this is going to be conjunct This will be with the North Node, and it is going to be in Cancer. Now, what I think is going to be pulling more on this lunar eclipse at the end of January is more on your third house, I feel like. Reason being is that the North Node is now finishing your third house at this time. And what this means is over the past couple of years, a lot of you have been learning a lot about communication or just learning in general, really getting into the practical side of things, maybe reading and writing and this type of practical stuff. And so this is now the high point with it, really these first few months of the year. But even late January with this eclipse associated with it, it is in many ways a culmination. Specifically, if since last August of last year, you did start something new with learning or communication. And so this could be the high point with it, a cultivation. And what you also notice too is that this is setting a new beginning for you in terms of finances this year. I think it's a fantastic year for this. Learning about finances, investments, savings, and fundamentally your sense of self-worth. What are your natural gifts and natural abilities that you can use to cultivate more of what you value and more of your material security and these types of things this year? This will be the life path essentially for you this year. Now, February 15th, we do have a solar eclipse. This is going to be right in between Capricorn and Aquarius. And so it is going to be pulling on this, this South Node energy. I think there is this emphasis about this year being that of letting go of anything unhealthy that has to do with debts or loans or other people's money or any type of codependency types of situations when it's involving the finances. I think if there's anything unhealthy that you want to change or bring balance back to this mid-February, I think it's an excellent time to set some intentions with this and work on it between February and July of this year, because at the end of July, we do have the culmination of this. Now, maybe it's more about facing some fears. There's this pull to go back into the deeper dimensions when the South Node's in the 8th. Sometimes we don't have to go into the deep dimensions, or maybe there's just some patterns of going deep or something like that. So it's not that we want to push it away, but if you do notice there's any extremes with depth, feeling that, yearning for that, being aware of it can help balance it out. And so I think just bring any balance back to shared resources and depth is just a great way of working with this year. And there could be a great new intention to set with this mid-February. Now, April 14th, we have the second Jupiter sextile Pluto, this link again between your self-expression and relationships, maybe romance in relationships, this type of playful energy, creative energy here. So this is where things can maybe start to move forward for you in this area. Because the first one, we kind of start to learn about it. So maybe in January there was something new, but maybe by April, mid-April, it takes on a new level and you're sort of implementing this. So between April and, between April and September, really good time for implementing some of this, again, creative self-expression with relationships. And so it's a great year for it in general, but that could be the actual physical manifestation of it in terms of putting it in motion. Now, April 15th, we do have a new moon conjunct Uranus. This is going to be in your 10th house of career. For about the past 8 years, a lot of you have been seeing that it's important for you to have more freedom with your career. Try some new things. Get some change there, some freedom there. Align it with more of what you're truly about. So this new moon could certainly bring that. Mid-April, new beginning for you in terms of career, new beginning in terms of your true self being expressed through your career, and more change there. Anything you want to change to bring in more of that freedom, I think is fantastic. Now, May 25th, we do have Jupiter trining Neptune. Jupiter's in very good aspect this year. And so this is from your 9th house. In fact, this one started in December of last year, just coming into this year. So this is a very positive support in the sense that there is this more willingness to go with the flow when it comes to your life path and when it comes to your adventurous spirit, to be more easygoing about how life unfolds. And so this is linking up very good with your self-expression, creativity, romance, kids, creative projects, all the stuff that's expanding. It's giving you this open mind about it and helping you see potentials. And it could be an actual time of manifesting some dreams, in fact, involving the self-expression and passions. And you know, the ninth house is about what's possible. So you're seeing this, you're seeing how everything happens in divine timing, but you're very easygoing about it when it comes to the path itself, which can be a very good support for you, again, enjoying the things that you can enjoy this year. All right, so this is the second aspect, May 25th, and it could be a implementation phase where things start to move forward for you in that area, if there was anything that started there at December. So June 28th, we do have a full moon in Sagittarius. So we were talking about how, yes, you know, Saturn is helping you build relationships and get serious with them. And I think this could certainly be a culmination of this. In fact, in December of last year, there may have been a new beginning about this, taking something more seriously in the relationship sector. So this is when it comes to a high point. This is when it comes to a culmination. And so really good time to tie up some loose ends, to be aware of this area, to cultivate it. And you could notice things are just coming to fruition regarding that around this time. Now we do have a couple partial solar eclipses. We don't have any like really close solar eclipses here in the summertime during eclipse season. Some of the partial solar eclipses will be in your sign. The first one, July 12th. So mid-July, there could be some new beginnings about you, in the sense that you want to start to, you know, shift your path, I think, in a bit of an independent route, or you're just feeling a little more independent. And really good for moving things forward of the year anyways. Will be your birthdays for those of you watching for your sun signs. But setting new intentions in general for the next 6 months is great mid-July. Now, July 27th, we do have an exact lunar eclipse. And this is going to be the full moon of what I was saying earlier in February about how there's this new beginning about bringing balance back to shared resources or other people's money, as well as depth. So this is where you can really, you know, between that February and this July 27th is work at this, develop it. And this could be the high point of it, where you're seeing a little bit clear about, you know, maybe you did manifest some things, paid off some debts, or freed yourself from any unhealthy bonds or anything like that. Or, you know, you brought some more balance back with intimacy and vulnerability in your life in healthy ways. All right. So high point with that, culmination. And really good for then continuing to implement this releasing of what is some of this yearning to go into the depth, into the shared resources that is sort of pulling on you this year. Now, the other partial solar eclipse will be on August 11th. Minor again. This will be, I think, solidifying a lot of what I was saying earlier about how it's been the past couple of years of learning and of communication and of trade and exchanging. It's practical stuff. And so this is another step in the right direction. Nothing major, but certainly continuing there. Now, I do want to mention that at this time, this sort of summertime, Uranus is going to get very close to Aries. Not quite get into the actual constellation, but very, very close, and closer to Aries than Pisces actually at this time. So summer, really good time to see if maybe there's some changes you want to have with some friends, some community things. Could be an exciting time for you there. You just get this sort of glimpse about community and friends and how it can be fun and exciting and different, and even unorthodox, that you may want to implement this summer. It could be a really exciting summer for that. Or maybe you're feeling very inspired about the future, in fact, about your hopes and wishes, and feeling the freedom to cultivate those. All right, so at the end of August, we start to solidify. In fact, August, this is very much a solidification time, July, August. But August 19th, Jupiter trines Neptune for the last time. And so this whole link between, again, possibilities that you're open to and easygoing about, linking up with your fun and self-expression, it's the final culmination of this and the final results of this. Okay, so fifth house matters, resulting here, and again, a little bit more of that willingness to go with the flow. So it really becomes integrated with your being. Then on September 12th, the last aspect between Jupiter and Pluto, which is linking the self-expression with the relationships. So some final results with that as well. Okay. Now, October 24th, we do have a full moon with that Uranus. So like I was saying back in April, there may have been some new beginnings with your career and freedom through your career. And so this could be the high point of this. Maybe something is culminating at the end of October, terms of your career. And maybe too, again, getting a bit of that glimpse about the importance of friends and networks and just feeling inspired about the future. But it is solidifying at this time. Now, November, we do have Jupiter going into Scorpio. So going into 2019, I think there will be a lot of expansion with your day-to-day work and your health. So these last couple months, really good for this. In fact, December 7th, we do have a new moon in your 6th house. And so it could be this new beginning with your work for a lot of you. And again, opportunities and potentials, where the potentials this year were for more of the fun and the creative energy and the passions. Next year, in these last couple months, really emphasizing the work, routine, health, diet, regimes, anything you can do to really expand upon your health and your service through your work. All right, so Geminis, have a fantastic year. Thank you for watching. If you'd like that 20% off, there's a link on the page for that. Do check that out. And yeah, have a great one. And I'll see you all very soon for the next forecast. Take care.